Hi, I'm Kirly Sue, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's noticed that food prices have really gone up recently, and also the cost of eating out. So I've put together this video for you. It's just over 2 hours long, and it's got 25 different budget recipes that are quick, easy and tasty, really easy to make, and it's got ingredients that you've probably got lying around in your kitchen already, or you can purchase quite easily. So I've also put together a PDF of all the recipes. To get the PDF, there's a link in the description below. Just click on it and you can get your copy. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Kirly Sue, and if this is the first time you're coming to my channel, welcome to Kirly Sue's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making mushroom steak. Now you can use any kind of mushroom you like, but the best ones to use are either the portobello mushrooms, the big kind of cup ones, or the lion's mane one, the kind of fluffy looking ones, because those are kind of the big meaty type mushrooms that when you press it down it'll have a really nice steak type sort of consistency. Now, to be honest, does it have the same texture of steak? Now, I've been vegan for almost 11 years, and I haven't, before that I was vegetarian, so I don't quite remember the taste, but in terms of texture, it isn't actually steak, so it's not going to be the exact same texture, but it's a similar kind of look and feel, I guess, or eating experience, I suppose. But what you have to remember is the flavors are great. The texture will not be exactly the same as a meat steak because it's not meat, but it still be a nice hearty meal that you're having. And this is actually much easier to make than I thought. So before we get to the ingredients, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll see more videos just like this one. So now let's go to the ingredients. So for the ingredients, you're going to need 2 portobello mushrooms or 2 lion's mane mushrooms, and then you're going to clean them. Now, when it comes to cleaning mushrooms, in some cultures they believe that you shouldn't wash them with water. I'm not from one of those cultures, so for me, I personally wash them with water. So no, I don't mean to speak down towards people who don't wash them. That's their choice. Everybody has their personal choice. Just for me personally, I wash them with water. So if you don't wash it with water, that's good for you, and washing it with water is good for me. That's it. So just thought I'd clear that up. So you wash them, you clean them, and then you're going to need 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, or if you haven't got any tomato paste, you can use ketchup instead. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and also 1 teaspoon of dried mixed herbs. Now, put all of those ingredients, not the mushroom, but all of the other ingredients into a bowl and stir those until they've combined. And then you're going to heat up a griddle pan on the stove. Then you're going to coat the mushrooms in the mixture and then place it down onto the griddle pan and push down very hard with some kind of heavy objects. Now, I've got a small Dutch pot and I've just used that. You can use a small pot, you can use anything. There are cooking weights that you can use those if you have them. Press them down because you're trying to release the excess water that's in the mushrooms, so you keep pressing those down and then keep turning them and marinating and turning and marinating and turning until they're nicely charred. So once they're nicely charred and they have a nice color on them, taste them first to see if it's cooked to your taste, and then once that's happened, that's it, you've done it. You now have your mushroom steak. Now you can serve these with mashed potato or rice, and you can have some green beans with it or other mixed veg. You can dress it up however you like. You can also have chunky chips or chunky fries with it as well. Those go really well. And once you make this, there is enough liquid left over so you can make a gravy to go with it to drizzle around the plate if you want to do like a fine dining type of presentation. And that's it. That is your mushroom steak. Kirly Sue, and today we're making chickpea meatballs. These are really flavorful. They have a lovely sauce to go with it that I'm going to give you the recipe for as well, and they can be paired with, you can have these meatballs with spaghetti, you can have them on rice, you can have it with roast potatoes. So versatile, so many different things that you can have these with. You can actually even have these in a big roll, like a submarine roll, and it would be like almost like a marinara sandwich, so you can add marinara sauce to it if you want to instead. But the possibilities are endless. So let's get on with the ingredients. But before, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll see more videos just like this one. So here we go. So you're going to need 1 tin of chickpeas that have been rinsed and drained, 200 grams of couscous, or you can use quinoa instead if you don't want to use couscous, half a red onion, 3 garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 2 tablespoons of parsley, 1 teaspoon soy sauce or tamari, black pepper and salt. And for the sauce, you need 4 tablespoons of hot sauce. So if you don't want to use hot sauce, you can use ketchup instead if you're not keen on that, the heat. 2 tablespoons soy sauce, 2 tablespoons brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of corn flour or cornstarch, 2 tablespoons. So now for the method. Preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius, that's 395 Fahrenheit. And in a bowl, add the couscous and cover with hot water. If you're using quinoa instead, then just cook the quinoa to start with. Place a tea towel and a plate over the bowl. Let the couscous stand for 5 to 10 minutes until soft and fluffy. In a food processor, add the chickpeas, red onion, garlic, seasoning, soy sauce and the cooked couscous. Pulse until combined, but be sure not to over pulse or the mixture will be too mushy. Roll the chickpea mixture with your hands and place on a greased baking tray. So basically take out 1 to 2 tablespoons of mixture and roll those into balls. Place on a greased baking sheet, then bake for 30 minutes, turning halfway through until lightly browned and crispy. Meanwhile, while they're baking, add the remaining ingredients to a frying pan on a medium heat to make the sauce, stirring occasionally and let it simmer for 5 minutes. Add the baked balls to the frying pan, coat everything evenly and garnish with coriander or chives. And that's it for our chickpea meatballs. Kirly Sue and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making Jamaican seasoned cabbage. It's a really quick, easy and really delicious recipe that I'm making just for you. And you can use for this either sesame oil, or today I'm using avocado oil. So just a little splash of avocado oil. That's all you need, not a lot. This is quite a quick recipe, so which is really quick and easy to make, very flavorful, very healthy as well. So I'm just going to use a small sweetheart cabbage. So I'm only going to use half of it today, and then I'll put the other half back in the fridge for another recipe. Put that in.
Right, and it doesn't need a huge amount of ingredients, but all the ingredients and the full recipe is in the description box below. And if you're joining me, please feel free to say hi in the comment section. I love to hear and see all of you guys who are watching. So I've just cut up half of the cabbage for the stir-fried cabbage, so I'm just going to pull this apart while we're waiting for the actually no, we won't pull it apart. I'm going to chop it up and then I'm going to wash it. So let me just chop it on the side here. So how you do it with put your finger almost like a claw with that one on top. With this you hold the knife these two fingers and then wrap the other three around, and then it's almost like this is an extension of your arm, and then you just chop it up. Don't need to chop this too thinly. Put that into a bowl. As you can see, I put that into a bowl. I'm going to give that a quick wash, and then just before we wash that, the oil is heated up, so I'll adjust you so you can see. So we're going to put in one small onion that I've chopped up already. I'm just washing the cabbage. Right, that's the cabbage washed. So there's one small onion. If you're joining me, we're making stir-fried cabbage. So we put in one small onion that we've chopped up, and then I'm going to do 3 cloves of garlic. So I've got a garlic press, so I'm just going to press it through the garlic press. So that's one. You can just scrape it off. And this is a really inexpensive recipe to make, and it's probably got stuff you've already got hanging around your kitchen anyway. If you have any comments, feel free to comment in the comment section below. Even if you just want to say hi and where you're tuning in from, that'll be really great to know. Sweet corn. Add in the sweet corn instead of the red pepper because I don't have any red pepper. So for a splash of colour, use sweet corn instead. You can kind of make this your own with whatever vegetables you want to add. And then now we add the cabbage. I've washed the cabbage already. We add the cabbage. If there's any that need to be pulled apart, just pull them apart. Instead of having rice, you can have some stir-fried cabbage instead. Much better for you. It's also great for if you're trying to lose weight or maintain your figure. This is really good, and it's a nice alternative, because some alternatives when you're trying to lose weight or to cut down on carbs are not nice, but this is a nice one. So we put that in, and then we're going to add a little bit of Caribbean seasonal. about half a tablespoon. Put that in. Don't want to put too much because it can be quite salty. You put that in, and this will kind of cook down and shrink in the size, the volume sort of. Okay, so we've got the Caribbean seasoning oil. You can put a little bit of salt, but I won't bother because the Caribbean seasoning oil is quite salty. And then you can add some soy sauce, or today I'm going to use coconut aminos instead of soy sauce. So add the soy sauce, just a little bit of that, and then I'm going to add the vegan mushroom stir fry sauce. It's suitable for vegans as well, even though it says vegetarian, so you add a nice splash of that. This makes it taste like you went to the takeaway. Don't put too much, just a nice dollop of that, and you stir that round so the flavors get to every part of the dish. And then we're going to let this cook down for about 5 minutes, and then it's ready to serve. Wow, it looks and smells delicious. That's our timer. So time's up. So now all we need to do now is put it on a plate. Alright, so I have a plate now. Plate this up. So I'm going to be eating it now. This is actually my lunch. So let me turn the fire off. There you go.
It's as simple as that, but it's just so tasty, and it's a very healthy way to eat as well. And this is a really good dish to accompany other items. So you can have this with some soy chunks, or you can have this with some chickpea curry, for example. Anything that you choose, you know, just put a protein with it as well. And that's it. Hi, I'm Kirly Sue and welcome to Kirly Sue's Kitchen. If this is the first time you're coming to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you can see much more videos just like this one. So today I have a really great exciting video for you because today I'm going to be making brown stew chunks. So this is kind of part one of the collaboration video I'm doing with Chef Ricardo. Yes, the YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers. Yes, I like to rub shoulders with the kind of top YouTubers whenever I can. So I met Chef Ricardo earlier this year. This is 2022. We were both filming a television show and we were flown to the Dominican Republic. I didn't know him before then. I'd heard of him. I follow his channel because YouTubers have other YouTubers that they like. And I was really surprised when I got there. I thought, oh wow, it's Chef Ricardo. So here's a clip of myself and Chef Ricardo.
My name is Chef Ricardo and I represent the Queen over here, one of the top best chef right now from London. Check out our YouTube channel, subscribe to her and give her the biggest support as I can.
Thanks, Kirly Sue. That's good. I'm here in the Dominican Republic filming a show with Chef Ricardo.
Nah man, trust me. Check out our YouTube channel too. Please share some support, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you need to do that.
So yes, we decided to do a collab video and this is part one. So for part one, he has done a shout out of one of my recipes that he's done, so there's a link in the description for that video, and this is my video using one of his recipes. Now his one is the Jamaican recipe brown stew chicken, but obviously being vegan we don't eat chicken, so I'm using the soy chunks for this. So this is brown stew chunks. I love the recipe for brown stew. It has really lovely flavor. It's really actually quite easy to make. It doesn't require any ingredients that you probably haven't got already. So let's get on with making brown stew chunks. So for the ingredients you're going to need mixed herbs. Actually all of the recipe is in the link in the description, so if you go to the description below this video there's a link there that will take you to the full recipe so you can see all the measurements there very easily. So it's mixed herbs, paprika, Caribbean seasonal, which is also called all-purpose seasoning or sometimes Jamaican seasoning, olive oil, carrot, red pepper, green pepper, onion, a small potato, garlic, water, ketchup, and coconut amino acids or soy sauce. Those are all the ingredients that you're going to need, and obviously also a pack of soy chunks. Now soy chunks comes in the UK where I live. The pack it comes in, it has 375 grams, which is quite a lot. In the video I use the whole pack, but you can actually use this recipe for just using half the pack. So first of all you're going to get your pack of dried chunks, place it in a bowl, pour boiling water over it, enough boiling water so that it covers it. Cover it, place a lid over the bowl and leave it for about half an hour. So that will soften the chunks, rehydrate them basically. And once that has done, you drain all the liquid away from the chunks. We don't need that liquid again. And then you're going to add all of your seasonings. So you pour all the seasonings over them, and then once you've put all the seasonings on them, so when I say seasonings, let me just clarify. You're going to put your mixed herbs, your paprika, Caribbean seasonal, and yeah, and then your olive oil. So you're going to put your mixed herbs, paprika, Caribbean seasonal, and then you have your olive oil, and then you just rub it into the chunks or stir it really well. You can use your hands, just as long as your hands are clean, it's fine. Rub those into the chunks, and then you're going to leave that to marinate for about at least half an hour to an hour. Just place a lid over it and leave it for about half an hour to an hour, and then that's it. It's ready for the next stage. So you add 1 tablespoon of oil to your pan and just let that heat up, and then you're going to put in your chopped garlic, and you want the flavor to really get into the oil. So you cook that down till the garlic has gone golden brown. Then you add all your veg. So it's red pepper, green pepper, spring onion, potato, and then the garlic's in there already. So you let that cook down for about 4 to 5 minutes until they start to soften. And then you just add the chunks, and then some ketchup and coconut aminos or soy sauce, depending on which you're using, and then you add a bit more Caribbean seasonal, and then you stir it, put a lid over it, and allow it to cook on a medium to low heat for about 15 to 20 minutes. You can add a little bit of sweet chili sauce as well if you want to kind of thicken it a little bit. But once it's cooked down and the sauce with the chunks has got thicker, depending on your stove and how high your medium is, it may take a little bit longer. So 15 to 20 minutes, but it can go for as long as half an hour. And once that you see that brown sort of stew in the pot, the chunks are ready to serve, and they are delicious. They also freeze really well, so if you make a big portion and you don't need all of it, let it cool down, put it into a freezer bag, and then stick it in the freezer, and it will be perfectly fine for you to reheat and eat at a later date. So to make these cheese and tomato upside down puffs, all you do is drizzle a little olive oil, just a quick drizzle like that, some cracked black pepper, mixed herbs, put the tomato in the middle, and then you cover it with the puff pastry, press it down like that, and then you get a fork and crimp the edges all the way down like that. And keep going till you've done it all the way around. And then you do that until you've used up all of your ingredients. Once you've pressed it down, you want to get some almond milk or any non-dairy milk and just brush the top. This is kind of like a vegan version of egg wash. And then you prick the middle, and then you keep going till you used up all the ingredients. So we've got another one here. This one just needs a little cheese. A teeny bit is fine. Put the pastry on top, press it down.
Okay, then you're going to place them in the oven for 20 minutes or until golden brown. After 20 minutes, remove from the oven. I'll just put them onto this cooling rack and allow them to cool. So now that they've cooled, I'm going to flip them over like that. And then I'm just going to garnish with a little bit of basil, like that. And look how pretty that looks. So just keep going until I've done all of them. So just take it off with a fish slice, add the basil. So you just push the basil underneath the tomato. So it looks like so. And I'll add the basil for that in a moment. Just put them all onto here. And there we have. And there we have our cheese and tomato pastries with basil to garnish. I'll just put basil in the last one here. And now what's left to do is to try them. So now that we've made the pastry, all that's left now is to taste. So I have one here, so you can see it. Doesn't it not look cute? I love the way it looks. And I'll show you the back. So see, so it's the pastry's nice and flaky and puffy rather. So right. Very nice. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil to the pan. I'm using avocado oil, but you can use any type of oil that you like. Let that heat up for a minute or so, and then you're going to add the curry powder. So you add 1 tablespoon of the Jamaican curry powder. And then you're going to stir that in. And then you're going to let that cook until the curry powder changes colour to a darker shade of brown. So you just keep watching it until it changes colour. Be careful not to let it burn. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but it has now changed colour, so you're going to add the chickpeas and coat it in the curry. These chickpeas are the tinned ones, so they're actually already cooked. There's a funny one in here, let me take that out. Yeah, You stir it around until the curry coats all of the chickpeas like that. Give it a good stir so everything gets coated. And then you're going to let that cook for about 3 minutes. That's now been cooking for 3 minutes. 3 minutes is done. Give it a good chance to let the flavour of the curry get into the chickpeas. And you're going to add some seasonings. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, or you can use coriander as well. Have it. 2 teaspoons of all-purpose seasoning, and then give that a stir. It smells wonderful. You can smell all the spices coming together to make this delicious dish. Going to add 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. I'm using my garlic press here for this. One to 2 teaspoons of minced fresh ginger. Then 1 small onion diced. Half a large or 1 small red pepper that you've diced as well. Just giving it a nice pop of colour to the dish. Make sure you give that a good stir. Then some freshly ground black pepper. Stir that again. And then 2½ cups of coconut milk. Just put half in first and give it a stir. And then add the rest. Add your diced carrot, green beans, and sweet corn. Stir that around. It gives it a wonderful burst of colour now, and textures and extra flavour, and also bulks out the dish a bit more as well with some healthy options. Nice veg in there. It's a good way to get your kids to eat their veg as well. Stir it in like this. Add your fresh thyme and 2 to 3 stalks of scallion or green onions, or spring onion some people call it. Stir that in. And then you're going to place a Scotch bonnet pepper in the middle. Now, providing you don't open this, you get flavour but you won't get heat. Because for me, I can take a little bit of heat, but if you open this, I promise you it will be very hot. But if you don't, then you're good. It will give you nice flavour, but not too much. Well, it won't give you any heat if it's not open. So that's fine. Alright. So you cover that and let it simmer on a medium to low heat for about half an hour. For about 10 minutes. So you cover that. And let it simmer for about 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, this is how it looks. It smells wonderful. Give it a taste. It tastes lovely. I think it needs a little extra seasonal, so I'm just going to put in half a tablespoon. Put that in and give it a stir. That is great. Kirly Sue, and if this is the first time you're coming to my kitchen, welcome to Kirly Sue's kitchen. Today I'm making a French onion tart. Well, it's kind of like a cheese and onion tart that's a little bit fancy. So instead of having pastry on the top and the bottom, this only has pastry on the top, and it's nice puff pastry. It's really quick and easy to make, and it's only got a few ingredients. I really try to find recipes for you that are easy to make, so you don't find it a chore making these. And these are really delicious and you're gonna love them. So let's make our French onion tarts. So for this recipe you're going to need 1 white onion, and you're going to peel it and thinly slice it. And then you're going to need a few tablespoons of olive oil. This is the type that I use. And also a few tablespoons of balsamic vinegar.
You're also going to need some vegan cheese. This is the brand that I usually go for. And then also some sheets of puff pastry. Alright, first of all you want to line a baking tray with some grease-proof paper, like I have here, and set that aside. So slice the onions like this. So slice it into rings so you can see the thickness. So you're not too thick and not too thin. Set that aside. Then with the baking tray that we've already prepared, you're going to drizzle some olive oil like that, and then a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and then place the onion on top like that, and do that until you fill up the whole tray. Once you've done that, place a little bit of cheese on top of each of the onion rings, just like that. Doesn't need a huge amount, just enough to cover the top of the onion. There you go, one more. There. You can tidy it up a bit, just move them in. So it's neat because we're going to cover it in a moment with some pastry. Now traditionally these are done in squares, but I've decided to do round circles of pastry for these. So now we're going to cut out some circles of the puff pastry using a large cookie cutter. So do that here, and then you're going to press it down over the onion and crimp it. So just take a fork and go like that at the edge so it stays downwards. Just give it a good press so it goes all the way down. And that's the first one. Just going to put a little thing in the top. And then you keep going until you've covered all of them. So after 20 minutes, remove them from the oven, and then we're going to flip one over so you can see what it looks like on the other side. So I'm just going to take a slice, and as you can see on there, it looks ooey and gooey and cheesy, and then you just drizzle with a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and then you're going to bite into it. So now I'm going to drizzle with a little bit of the balsamic, and then it's ready. So now I'm going to bite into it. Really nice. The pastry is light and flaky, and you get the cheesiness, but it's not too cheesy, and then the balsamic gives it a nice acidic kick to it, and then the onion just tops it off. Delicious. Really delicious, super quick and easy to make, and they taste divine. Slice the tofu and place in a tofu press to remove the liquid. Once it's drained, remove from the tofu press. Heat a pan and add oil. Slice the tofu and add to the pan. Allow to cook until golden brown. Turn and cook on the other side until golden brown. Meanwhile, add all the ingredients for the sauce to a bowl. Soy sauce, fresh ginger, paprika powder, pepper, 2 stalks of spring onions and water. Stir and add to the pan. Stir until all of the tofu is coated in the sauce and cook for 2 to 3 minutes. For this recipe you'll need raw cashews, water, lemon juice, nutritional yeast, turmeric, garlic powder, salt, vegan cheddar cheese, elbow pasta, panko breadcrumbs, melted vegan butter and smoked paprika. All the measurements are on screen and below. Preheat the oven to 350 Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius or gas mark 4. Grease a medium-sized baking dish. Soften the cashews by covering them in boiling water for 5 minutes. Drain the cashews and place in a blender. Add the cashews, water, lemon juice, nutritional yeast, turmeric, garlic powder, salt and shredded cheese.
Blend until smooth. Cook the pasta according to the instructions on the packet and add the stock cube to the water. Drain the pasta. Place the pasta into the baking dish and then add the sauce. Mix together the breadcrumbs, melted vegan butter and smoked paprika in a small bowl until crumbly and moist. Sprinkle the breadcrumb mixture onto the pasta and bake uncovered for 15 minutes.
So for the vegan meatballs, first of all, you're going to need 1 can of cannellini beans, which are like a white bean. Now, if you haven't got cannellini beans, you can use any white bean. You could use butter beans or whichever white beans you have. So they need to be pre-soaked and cooked for this recipe. So if you have the dried ones, then just give them cook them first of all, and then get on with the rest of the recipe. So you're also going to need half a cup of plain flour, half a small onion, 1 clove of garlic, a thumb-sized piece of ginger, 1 teaspoon mixed herbs, half a tablespoon Caribbean seasonal, 1 tablespoon low salt soy sauce or coconut amino, and also 1 tablespoon of wet Jamaican seasoning. If you don't have any, there's a link in the description which will show you exactly how to make it. It's super quick, it's super easy, and it's ingredients you probably have in your kitchen anyway. So those are all the ingredients, so let's get on with making the meatballs first of all. So what you first of all need to do is preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit or gas mark 4. Drain and wash the cannellini beans and then drain them again, and then mash the beans with a fork or a potato masher until they're quite well mashed. Then finely chop the onion, garlic and ginger and add that to the mixture and the wet Jamaican seasoning. Add the flour, chopped onion, garlic and ginger, soy sauce and Caribbean seasoning all to the mashed beans and stir. Mix this all together until it's well combined, and then you're going to take tablespoons of the mixture and roll them into balls and gently fry them for about 5 minutes, just so that it browns on the outside, and then transfer that to a baking tray because you're going to finish it off in the oven for about 20 minutes until golden brown. Now when you're rolling them in balls, if they happen to be a little bit sticky, just add a tiny little bit of flour and it should be fine. And that's how you make the balls, the meatballs. For the gravy that you're going to use for the meatballs, you're going to need 1 sprig of thyme, 1 spring onion or scallion, 1 small onion, half a red pepper, a quarter of red pepper, a quarter of green pepper and a quarter of yellow pepper, 2 tomatoes, 1 clove of garlic, a quarter of a cup of ketchup, tomato sauce, a quarter of a cup of sweet chili sauce, 1 teaspoon of mixed herbs, a pinch of salt, and a tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning like the Jamaican one. So finely chop all of the thyme, onion, spring onion, red pepper, green pepper, yellow pepper, tomatoes and garlic. So chop all of those really finely. You can whiz it in the food processor if you like. Heat 1 tablespoon of oil and lightly fry all of the veg for about 3 or 4 minutes. Then add 1 cup of water. Then you add the ketchup, the sweet chili sauce, the black pepper, mixed herbs and salt, and stir that really well. Then add a tablespoon of the all-purpose seasoning, cover and reduce to a medium to low heat and simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And once you've done that, it will be ready, and you can either leave it as it is. Some people like it with the nice chunks in it, or if you want a smoother gravy, whiz it in a blender and then you have your smooth gravy, and you can store it in the fridge if you have some left over as well. And for our carrot mash, you're just going to need a pound in weight of carrots, 1 to 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter if you have, but if not, regular butter is fine. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder granules, or if you don't want to use the garlic powder granules, you can just use half a clove or 1 clove, small clove of garlic, finely grated, and salt and pepper to taste. So first of all, you're going to wash and scrub the carrots, or actually you can just peel them depending on your preference. Chop the carrots into small cubes and bring a large pot of water to the boil. Boil the cubes for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until when you put a fork in they're soft and tender. Once the carrots are cooked, drain the water from the pot and add the carrots back to the pot and mix in the butter, salt and pepper and garlic powder. Mash the carrots using a hand masher or fork until the carrots are evenly mixed. If you prefer the extra smooth kind of consistency, use an immersion blender or food processor until the carrots reach your desired consistency, and divide evenly, sprinkle with salt and pepper again, and enjoy. And then all we're going to do after that is assemble our dish.
So now we're going to plate the dish. So we're going to put some pea shoot greens in the middle, like that. And then we're going to do the carrot mash on one side. It's really nice and creamy. So you just use vegan butter, and that's what veganizes it really. Just load it up here. And then on the other side, we're going to put the meatballs of the gravy. I'm going to put them in strategically. So this is more of a home cook way that you'd plate it maybe, or it could be restaurant style actually, the way this is turning out. Just enough to fill up that side, and I think we need a little more of the microgreens, of the pea shoots. Put a bit more of the pea shoots in the middle there. It's always good to have a splash of colour. Just add some gravy. And that is our meatballs, vegan meatballs with carrot mash. So this is the vegan meatballs with some pea shoots, microgreens and some carrot mash. So let's have a taste. It is delicious. You have to try this. So this is a more of a restaurant style plating. So you can see it's the exact same ingredients, just plated differently. Subscribe to my channel and tell.
Today I'm going to be making pulled oyster mushrooms, and I have a guest, the wonderful Ringo from Ringo Vision. He's also a YouTuber and a wonderful chef as well.
One people.
And as you can hear, is a fellow Jamaican as well. So,
Kirly, thank you very much for inviting me on the program.
that's okay, that's okay.
Me there. Alright people, so you see what I want, so I have to put on my gloves in them because hygiene, you know.
Absolutely.
Come here, so you're the queen of hygiene, so I make sure I come in my gloves.
Okay, lovely.
Good vibes.
Yes. So, with regards the oyster mushrooms, there are some people who think you don't need to wash them. Well, we're from Jamaica, we're going to wash them.
Okay, so let me do the washing.
Okay, you do those for me, that would be great. And we're going to use a fork to shred it, and that will give it that nice kind of meaty pulled texture. Similar to pulled pork, pulled chicken, pulled all those things. You can do the same thing with mushroom and get those amazing flavors as well. So while he's doing that, I'm just going to go through the ingredients. So we're going to need 4 or 5 large oyster mushrooms. You're going to see corn flour, and I'm going to be also using some sesame oil today as well, and also garlic powder and onion powder as well. So you're going to use that to coat it, and then we're going to shallow fry it in some hot oil to make it nice and crispy. And then after that, we're going to put a coating on the outsides and then cook it again, and then it's going to be wonderful. And you can serve this with rice. You can roll it up into a wrap and add some salad to it and make a nice wrap for yourself as well. It's very versatile. And this is a great alternative to using fake meat or meat substitutes. This is how you can make it taste really nice, very cost effective as well. Thank you. So if you pop those there for me.
So let's just show the camera.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Yes. So all you do, you get a fork and you just pull it so that it comes into pieces just like that. So you want it to, and then if there's any sort of larger ones, you can pull it apart because you want it to be kind of sort of stringy, like, you know, chicken.
Shredded.
Yeah, shredded like that.
Good vibes.
Yes. So that the fork does the shredding for you. You can use this also, the same method with king oyster mushrooms, which is what I usually use, but they ran out, so I just use this instead. So you can see the texture there when you shred it. You just go through and do all of these. Just do them quickly. And you can put a lot of flavor into this because mushrooms don't really have a huge flavor, a strong flavor. So when you put your flavor into it, you use it the way you want to. You flavor it to your taste. So I've given you kind of the seasonings that I would use, but you can tweak it for your benefit as well. So what do you think of this method, Ringo?
Looks interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. I could see that you're threading the grooves of the mushroom.
Yes.
That it makes it a bit simpler to move with the fork.
Yes.
Good
Absolutely.
vibes. And as you're doing that, I can smell the aroma from the mushroom as well.
Yes.
Lifting up
a
into
little
the
bit,
air
yeah.
as well.
Yes.
So if you are a mushroom fan, you're gonna even love it before it's even prepared.
Yes.
Because of just the aroma of mushrooms. So,
But fun fact, I don't like mushrooms.
okay.
But
Yeah.
I say that to say, depending on how you prepare it, I like mushrooms, because what I don't usually like about mushrooms is the plain flavor that it has and the texture. But in this recipe, it's going to change the flavor of the mushroom and the texture. So then once you do that, that's good for me. I can manage with it. And it's quite easy to do. So you get quite a lot.
Okay, so it's like we've got little strings.
Yes.
So if you know, you might have like cheese strings. Yeah, it looks like look like if you had chicken breast fillets.
Yes, that's the idea. Because there was a phenomenon where there was pulled everything, pulled pork, pulled chicken, pulled beef, pulled this, pulled that. And then the vegans thought, okay, we can have pulled stuff as well. And there was born pulled mushrooms.
Okay.
And that's it. So now we're going to put these into some seasoning before we fry them. So
that sounds nice. So we're gonna have some crispy mushrooms today.
we are.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
Good.
So what got you into mushroom or even thinking of doing mushrooms?
I saw that there was a trend because on social media there's different food trends.
Yeah.
So I saw a trend about mushrooms, and because I don't like mushrooms, I thought, and I've seen it done differently to how I've usually seen it prepared. It encouraged me to try it. Right. So I thought, even if I tried it and I didn't like it, I could tweak it to how I would like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not a big fan of mushroom myself.
Oh, okay. I think you're gonna like this.
I had some roast mushrooms on my program that released not too long ago. It was alright, but I want to try your one as well and see how it was, because I had someone that made that mushroom for me as well. Okay. So we'll try your mushroom.
All right. You have to let me know how it goes.
I've got to compare them.
Yes. So 3 tablespoons of corn flour.
Okay. So the amazing corn flour, everybody. Do you know what corn flour does to your food? Okay, corn flour gives a slow frying process when you're coating, and it gives a nice crisp to whatever you add it to, whether it's mushroom, whether it's chicken, whether it's fish, whether it's vegetables that you want to fry up. Corn flour gives it a slow process to the frying, especially to get that coating, you know, that golden coating that you're always looking for. If you're using plain flour, it might turn colour real quick, but the corn flour allows that extra frying without burning. That's good.
So this was the perfect time to invite you onto the program, because you just told them exactly what I didn't know exactly. Yeah. So that's some extra information for me. So thank you for that. So we got here the garlic powder. We just put in some of that. The garlic powder sometimes sticks.
And I see we've got some chopped onions as well.
Dried onion granules, yes, as well.
Let's get this.
The reason we use the dried one is because we're going to coat it, because usually I'm very much an advocate of using fresh ingredients where possible, but for this particular one, so that it can kind of cling to the mushroom, thank you, so it can cling to the mushroom, we use the powder, but we're going to use the onions and stuff as well.
Good vibes.
Right.
And I guess the granules give like a little crunch as well, isn't it?
Yes, a little bit, yeah. So we've got some ginger. So if you don't mind, could you chop the ginger for me, please?
Yeah, good vibes. All of it?
Yes, please. This around. So I just mix the onion and garlic powder into the corn flour. So we have to do that, so make sure the flavours are distributed evenly.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's perfect, thank you. With this. I can smell all the flavours coming together. Right, I'm going to start the oil because we're going to need the hot oil. So
Okay, good vibes.
I'm going to add the chopped garlic in as well. Because the secret to flavouring the mushrooms is to add the same sort of seasonings you need to use if you're using pulled pork, pulled chicken, pulled beef. The same sort of seasonings you would use for that kind of dish, use the same sort for a pulled mushroom dish as well. Great job, thank you. If you put that in for me, please. Yeah. Thank you. Right, just stir that round. So mix that
Alright, so we've got something going on right now.
Yep. So we're going to put some salt and pepper, some black pepper. All of the ingredients and the full recipe is in the description box below.
And this is what's going to be infused into our mushroom to create our overall taste, right?
Absolutely.
A good vibes, everybody. So as you can see, the chemistry is happening with all the little herbs and the spices that's gone into the little mixture of the corn flour. Then like the mushroom is waiting patiently, everybody, to just be woo.
Yeah. So I'm going to put those in.
There we go. Good vibes. So like how I've got gloves on, I can do a little.
Go ahead.
There we go. So let's get going, everyone. So we're gonna just massage, innit?
Yeah.
Like a local massage.
So it's as much of the mixture sticks to the mushroom as possible.
And then we have to be delicate as well because
we don't want
to crush the mushrooms, innit?
Yeah, we don't want mushroom puree.
Light hands, everybody. Light hands.
Yes.
TLC.
Delicate process.
So look at it. Look at that.
Yep. That's looking really good. Fabulous.
Told them that's smelling really fabulous as well.
It's a shame that YouTube doesn't have smell-o-vision, so you can smell things too. That would be really good. I'm sure in the future there will be. If you think you should be able to smell it, comment in the comment section below.
There we go.
You have to make sure the oil is hot so that when you drop it in there, it makes it nice and crispy before we move on to the next stage. Going to place the coated pulled mushroom into the hot oil.
Wow, hands on like that. Whoa. Good vibe. So how long are we expecting to fry for now?
Just a few minutes until it's crispy, and then that's it. We just take it out to drain. Just make sure that's nice and crispy, and then we're going to drain it on some kitchen towel and then move on to the sauce that's going to go with it. You keep moving it around to make sure it doesn't stick. And just keep going until it's nice and crispy. So once it's nice and crispy, then we just put it on some kitchen paper to drain, and then we're going to make the sauce.
Woo! So we've got some nice crispy mushrooms, everyone. Good vibes.
Yes, and good flavours and good texture.
So we've got spring onion, we've got garlic, we've got onion, good vibes. Ginger, and we've got the mushroom itself.
Yes. Okay, so we can leave that there for the moment. So we're going to add some more ginger to the pan. And then to that, we're going to add a little coconut aminos. Coconut aminos is an alternative to soy sauce. If you haven't got coconut aminos, you can use soy sauce instead. So use a little bit of that. And we're going to have 1 tablespoon of tahini. So 4 tablespoons of water. And we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of sugar, brown sugar. and a tiny splash of sesame oil. And that is going to make our sauce. So that we keep going until that becomes a smooth sauce, and then we're going to put the mushrooms, crispy mushrooms, back into it, stir it around, and then we're ready to try it.
We're there?
Yep. Yeah, I think we're there. So if we just put this back in. Turn the heat off. Coat it, and we're ready to try it. So just to give it a little extra colour and texture, just put some chopped spring onion on top. Now we're ready to try. I love the crunch. Very nice. Taste the ginger. I think I need some tasters to come in and try this. So we've got Ringo.
Good vibes.
How's it taste?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna see.
It's speechless,
Sweet to suck.
I'm gonna give you the flavour. Tell you exactly what it is. Alright. So it's like a texture of fried chicken. So it's like a sweet chicken with the nutty flavour towards the end, like almost caramelly, like giving you that finish on the back of your tongue. So it makes you keep on chewing again, cause the flavour takes long to come. So you have to just chew until you find it, because if you know mushroom, like she said, mushroom doesn't have a taste. So it's been infused, so them tiny little particles there are just bursting in your mouth slowly. So you have to just wait, you have to chew it out and make them come out, Okay. So that's what I was doing.
Okay.
To bring it out to just, yeah, and that's what it is.
Okay.
Good vibes.
Well, let me see what I go on right now, because me there have to see what I go on. I'll get a nice piece right here. Alright. Wow. I need to taste this because I see what's chilling away over here, so I'm excited to taste it.
Okay.
And it got ginger, which is my favorite.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna go for it. Ringo is wrapped. I got a nice got this sweet taste. So when you join it, this texture is coming and it's creeping in the mouth. Coming in.
I'm gonna try.
Coming in.
Okay. So Ricky, Chef Ricky.
Hey Ben, I want you to try it.
Now Ricky is
I'm not a fan of mushroom,
Yeah, we don't like mushroom.
but this
either,
tastes like chicken.
Okay.
Tastes nice. Like a meal.
I take that as a huge compliment.
Yeah, tastes like a meal.
Wow.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, fellow chefs, for tasting my pulled mushroom.
today I'm making tofu balls. Now, if you're like me and you're a bit skeptical about tofu or you don't like tofu, this is the perfect recipe for you. Now, I make my own tofu out of chickpeas, and if you want to see the recipe for that, click the link in the description below. It's also going to be in the pinned comment, and if you watch all the way to the end, there's a link that links you straight to that video as well. So how do you make the tofu balls? First of all, you're going to need 2 blocks of tofu, 400 grams, that you crumble into a bowl, 1 onion finely diced, 2 cloves of garlic minced, 2/3 of a cup or 75 grams of chickpea flour, 2/3 of a cup or 45 grams of breadcrumbs, 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos. I use coconut aminos instead of soy sauce, but you can use either one. If you use soy sauce, I recommend the one that's low in salt and low sodium, that one instead. Salt and pepper to taste, and also 1 teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning. If you're not familiar with all-purpose seasoning, I'll put a link in the description so you can see where you can buy it. If you're in a different country, it will kind of give you an idea of what it is. I'll put in, there's 2 links. I can put in the one for the UK and I'll put in one for the US as well. But if you're in the Caribbean, I won't bother you. I know you'll know what it is. Alright, so once you've got all the ingredients, you will also need the ingredients for the coating. So that's 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos or soy sauce, 4 tablespoons of oil, any oil that you like. I use avocado oil, but you can use any oil you like. 1 teaspoon of paprika and 1 teaspoon of cumin, and half a teaspoon of garlic powder. So with the tofu, onion, garlic, flour, chickpea flour and breadcrumbs, you mix that all together with the coconut aminos and the 1 teaspoon salt and pepper and 1 teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning. So all of that, you mix all of those ingredients. I'll put the ingredients here so you can see which ones, and mix those all together with your hands and then shape them into balls. This mixture makes between about 20 different balls. So I used a cookie scoop, a small cookie scoop, I'll show you here, to scoop it out. So I used 2 cookie scoops for each ball. So scoop it out twice and then smash it together, not smash it, mash it, mold it, that's the word I'm looking for, mold it together into a ball and place them on a baking tray. Once you've used up all the mixture, then you're going to mix together the tomato paste, the soy sauce, the oil, 1 teaspoon of paprika, the cumin, garlic powder, mix that all together, and then you're going to drizzle that over each of the balls and kind of roll it around so the coating goes through over all of the tofu balls. Then you're going to pop that into an oven for 200 degrees Celsius, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, or that's a gas mark, let me check my chart, 200 degrees Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit is gas mark 6. So gas mark 6 if you're using a gas oven. It's usually UK people who do that, for about 35 minutes, and then let them sit for about 3 to 5 minutes before taking them off the baking tray. Then it's going to be really nice to serve these with a glaze. So for the glaze you're going to need, I used curry paste, Jamaican curry paste, but you can use any kind of paste that you like, savory paste. So a tablespoon of curry paste, tablespoon of clear white vinegar, tablespoon of sesame seeds, and 2 tablespoons of agave. Oh, and 2 tablespoons also of ketchup. So you heat all of this together in a pan until it becomes thick, and then what you do, you drizzle it over each of the balls so they look nice and sticky and tasty, and it's amazing. And I have one here that I'm going to try. I can't talk. It's so nice, it's flavorful, it's like a little flavor bomb in your mouth. Really nice. And I like the texture, because what I don't like about tofu is that's kind of jelly consistency kind of thing. You don't get that in this at all. Very nice. It's light and so forth. Today I'm making for you a vegan burger. One of the most Googled recipes when it comes to vegan recipes is how to make a vegan burger. Now there's lots of vegan burgers around and not all of them taste nice. Some taste really great and some taste So if you can make it yourself, you can kind of tweak it to the flavor that you like. So just before we go to the ingredients, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll see more videos just like this one. So now for the ingredients. For the ingredients, you're going to need 250 grams of textured vegetable protein, 250 grams of vegan beef stock or vegetable stock, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 2 teaspoons of miso paste, or you can use 2 tablespoons of powdered dried mushroom, 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon smoked paprika, 60 ml of vegan mayo or a flavorless oil, 1 tablespoon blackstrap molasses, 1 tablespoon soy sauce, 1 teaspoon vegan Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon browning, optional for color, 2 tablespoons ground flax seeds. And then you're going to need 30 grams of plain flour or all-purpose flour if you're in the US, and 30 to 60 grams of breadcrumbs, or you can also use oats. So for the substitutes again, you can use veg stock instead of vegan beef stock. You can use dried mushrooms, powdered dried mushrooms instead of miso paste. You can use a plain flavorless oil instead of the mayo. You can also use tamari if you want a gluten-free version instead of soy sauce. And you can also use gluten-free flour if you want to, instead of just the regular plain or all-purpose flour. And if you don't want to use breadcrumbs, you can use oats instead. So now for the method. Rehydrate the textured vegetable protein in the vegan stock for about 10 minutes. While the textured vegetable protein rehydrates, add everything but the flour and breadcrumbs to a bowl and stir to combine. Once the TVP is hydrated, add the marinade mixture to the TVP and combine with clean hands or a spoon. Using a spatula, add the flour and breadcrumbs and combine again. So with regards to the breadcrumbs, I would use regular breadcrumbs, not panko breadcrumbs, and make sure you use the finest breadcrumbs you can find. If the breadcrumbs you get, if you're buying it in the packet, are not that fine, just whiz it in the blender quickly and that will make it super fine. The mixture should come together quite easily and form into a big, like a dough. You can also fry a small burger just to test the seasoning if you wish as well, and then adjust the seasoning to taste. So you can also take a little bit of the mixture and fry it just to get, so you can taste it, and if the seasoning is not quite right, then you can adjust it. Form the burgers into patties. So what I did, I used a large cookie cutter and placed the mixture in the middle and patted it down. For a preferred size, now you can make them 2 ounces or 4 ounces. You can weigh it out if you'd like, or just use, measure it by teaspoons or tablespoons, whichever works for you. You can have a thin one or a thick one, whichever is your preference. So to cook it, you simply heat up a pan, a medium-sized pan, and with some oil, cook on each side for about 3 to 4 minutes until nicely browned, and that's it. It doesn't need much more time than that. You can season if you like with a little salt, but to be honest, I think it's going to be quite salty enough already. Then you can flip the patty over and add a slice of cheese. So what you can do is add a slice of vegan cheese, take a little bit of water, add it to the pan, and then put a pot lid over it or something to cover it, so that will steam the cheese so it will melt down nicely. Then you just place it on a bun, add your lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise and ketchup or whatever dressings you want to add, and then that's it. Your burger is ready. This is really quick and easy to make. It's really flavoursome, and I love the texture, because some vegan burgers, they're made out of beans. Some people don't mind the beans, but the beans are a bit mushy. But this, it really holds its shape and it really tastes substantial. The texture is quite substantial. I like the texture, I like the flavor. Let me know how you get on with it. If you make this burger, please comment in the comment section below. Either put a burger emoji or just comment to say I've made it, and let me know how it is. Have you made vegan burgers before? Did you like the flavor? Do you use any different ingredients to me? If so, comment in the comment section below and let me know. So for the ingredients, you're going to need some ingredients, not a lot, a few. So 6 king oyster mushrooms, those are the mushrooms with the long trunk. 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. 1 teaspoon of sage, you can use dried or fresh sage, whichever you have handy. 1 tablespoon all-purpose seasoning. 1 teaspoon allspice. 1 to 2 teaspoons of jerk marinade. If you're not great with peppery hot food, there's a link in the description to my mild jerk marinade. And 3 sheets of rice paper, which I get from my local Chinese supermarket. Now for the coating you're going to put outside, you need 1 to 2 teaspoons of the jerk seasoning, half a teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning, half a teaspoon of paprika, and 1 tablespoon of oil. I like to use avocado oil. You can use any oil you like, really, they all work fine. So first of all, you're going to take the mushrooms and chop the head of the mushroom off, the little hat thing at the top, you chop that off. And then you're going to use a mandolin and carefully slice the mushroom trunk or stem really thinly, very, very thin. You're going to then boil that with the following seasonings. You're going to use the sage, the all-purpose, 1 to 2 teaspoons of the jerk marinade, nutritional yeast, and yeah, that's about it. And then you boil that for about 10 minutes, drain it, and then you can pat the mushrooms dry so you get rid of any excess liquid. After that, you're going to assemble the slices of mushroom as if it's a breast. So you just kind of pile them one on top of the other, so it's almost like a breast form. Then you get the rice paper, dip it into hot water for about 5 seconds until it's soft and pliable, and wrap that around the mushrooms. Once you've done that, then you mix together all the ingredients for the coating, and then you paint that onto the outside, or brush that onto the outside of your vegan chicken breast. And then you're going to keep doing that until you've used up all of the mushrooms. You're going to pop it into an oven for 15 to 20 minutes at 190 degrees Celsius. And once it's done, then you take it out and voila, you have your vegan jerk chicken. This can also be done in an air fryer, and it can be done for the same amount of time. Now when you are using it in the oven, put it on an oven proof cooling rack or some kind of rack, so that the air in the oven circulates and roasts it on the top and on the bottom. You can do it, I guess, on a baking tray if you don't have that, but then what I would do is turn it halfway through the cooking time. And then you have this wonderful, lovely, delicious jerk chicken.
Peel a medium potato. Grate the potato. Peel a medium-sized carrot. Grate the carrot. Place the grated carrot into a bowl. Peel an onion. Finely chop the onion. Chop a few sprigs of scallion or spring onions and then add that to the bowl. Add 110 grams of chickpea flour. Add 1/3 cup of plant-based milk, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, black pepper to taste, mix. Add a little more chickpea flour if it's not thick enough. Finely chop 1/3 of a Scotch bonnet pepper. Remove the seeds if you would prefer to have less heat. The consistency should look like this. Heat a pan and add oil, and once the oil is hot enough, add the batter in large spoonfuls. Fill up the pan and then cover on a medium heat to cook on a low heat for 2 to 3 minutes. Flip the fritters over and cook for a further 2 to 3 minutes on the other side.
So today it's mushroom and lentil curry. So if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, lots of you are watching, lots of you are subscribed, but the more of you that subscribe, the better. And I'll tell you why. 3 reasons why you should subscribe. 1, it's free. 2, it's free. 3, when you subscribe to my channel and it shows that there's more and more subscribers, then I can get sponsors to give me products and money and so forth to sponsor the videos to make more free stuff for you. So the more of you subscribe, the more that there are subscribers, the more I will have funding to create more and more really great videos just for you. So don't forget to click that no red button and turn on the notification bell so you can see more videos just like this one. I hope that was really clear. So actually, I tell you what, pause the video now, click the red subscribe button. Have you done it? Great, well done. So let's get on with the mushroom and lentil curry. So for this, you're going to need 500 grams of chestnut mushrooms, 2 cloves of garlic, 5 centimeter piece of ginger, 1 onion, about medium size, 3 medium tomatoes, you can use plum tomatoes, some groundnut oil, or you can use olive oil, any kind of oil really, 1 teaspoon turmeric, 1 teaspoon fenugreek, 1 heaped teaspoon yellow mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon medium curry powder, 1 to 2 teaspoons heaped Caribbean seasonal, 1 teaspoon of mango chutney, 1 tablespoon rather of mango chutney, 1 400 ml tin of light coconut milk, and half a cup of lentils. You could use red lentils or speckled lentils, either of those is perfectly fine, or you know, any kind of lentils that don't take too long to cook, because some of them are tougher than others. So to make this, it's really easy. First of all, you roughly chop some of the mushrooms, keeping the smaller ones whole and tearing the rest as well. Now some people say don't wash mushrooms, and that's fine within their culture. Within mine, you wash the mushrooms. So if you prefer not to wash them, that's your choice. But for me, I'm washing the mushrooms, because I don't know how something out the ground you cannot wash it. I don't get it. If you do, comment in the comment section below. So wash your mushrooms, chop them, or you can chop them first and then wash them. Either way around is perfectly fine. And tip them into a large pan and toast them on the stove over a medium heat for about 5 to 8 minutes until they're soft. Once you've done that, you peel while those are kind of toasting. Meanwhile, you just peel and finely slice the garlic, ginger, onion, then roughly chop the tomatoes as well. And you're going to add all of this to the pan and finely slice the garlic, ginger and onion. And then you're going to add all of this to the pan except the tomatoes, and then add 1 tablespoon of oil and then all of your spices. Stir this for 2 minutes or so until the spices are toasted and it's smelling lovely, and you know, stirring continuously. Then you're going to add your tomatoes, your mango chutney and your coconut milk and lentils, and stir to combine and season well with sea salt and black pepper, and then let that cook down for about 30 minutes until it's all cooked through really nicely. And then all you need to do then is serve it with, if you want to use rice you can, but I usually use bulgur wheat these days. If you'd like to know how to make bulgur wheat, click the link in the description. There's a recipe video I have for how to make bulgur wheat. It's super easy, it's quicker than rice, it's healthier than rice, and it tastes basically like rice, but it's better for you. So you can do that as well. So then all you do is serve it with rice, and then you can add a side dish of plantain, or you can have some nice greens on the side, so like some pea shoots, some kind of salad on the side. Yeah, anything you like really tastes really good. So if you make any kind of curry, comment in the comment section below and let me know what sort of curry you make. And also, if there's any recipes that you'd like me to make, comment down in the comment section below and let me know what you like. Most places you go in the world, you'll find some kind of curry. So today I'm going to make for you a butter bean curry. Over here I've got some different spices, and I'm going to show you how I use those spices. In here I've got some cardamom. I've got some in my pestle and mortar already, so I'm just going to put a couple more in. And then all you do is you're going to give it a good bash, because inside the cardamom are little seeds. And then you're basically going to take out the shells, and what we need is the bit inside. So now I'm going to heat some of the spices. I've got yellow mustard seed, so just a little pinch of that, and then coriander seeds, cumin seeds, that was the other way around, and fennel seeds as well. So just put a few pinches of those in there, and then we're going to just give it a quick stir, pop the lid on, let that warm enough so that it releases the flavors. Don't let it burn, let's just let it warm so it releases the flavors, and then we're ready to put it in our pestle and mortar to crush them. Now once the mustard seeds start popping, that's when you know it's ready. Oh, you can smell the wonderful aroma. Here. So now we're going to put this into the pestle and mortar. Wonderful smells just coming together. So I've heated a little bit of oil in the pan, so we're going to add the spices from here into the pan. Get all of that out, and then I'm going to add also to the pan 1 tablespoon of seasonal, a pinch of cinnamon, a couple of pinches there is sufficient, and also some garam masala as well, just a dab of that. And then I'm going to give that a good stir. So we're going to let those flavors release, as you say. So you'll be able to smell it. So just give that a good stir. Just heat those through so that the flavors start coming out. Because it smells wonderful. So this is really great for the base. So now I'm going to add a thumb-sized piece of ginger, half an onion chopped up, and 2 cloves of garlic, which I've already got blended up here. I'm going to add that into here as well. And just give that a good stir around. This is just going to make such wonderful curry flavour, because we're going with all the traditional, well mainly some of the traditional spices that you put in a curry. It's not just bonging in some curry powder, it's kind of really deepening the flavour palette. Alright, so next we're going to put in half a cup of red lentils. So put that in, and obviously you need your water for that as well, half a cup also of water, and also need our coconut cream to go in at the same time to cook down with the red lentil. You can use creamed coconut, or coconut cream some people call it, or you can use fresh coconut milk. If you're in an area in the world where you've got fresh coconut milk, that is always better than creamed coconut. But if you haven't got fresh coconut milk, creamed coconut is fine. So do that. So we're going to leave that to cook and just give it a good stir, and then you're going to let that cook down until the red lentils are soft and the coconut cream has melted through. Just going to cover that up. So while the red lentils are cooking, I'm going to make some garlic naan bread. So I've got some melted butter, vegan butter in here already. So I'm just going to leave that. And then I'm going to grate half a clove of garlic into the melted butter. So just give it a quick, just half is all you need really, because garlic has obviously a nice strong flavour. Scrape it all off like so. And these are so quick and easy to make, really quick. So then once the butter's melted, then you need to leave it for another minute so that the flavour of the garlic
combines into the butter, because then we're going to use this when we're making our garlic naans. We're going to paint it onto the top, brush it rather onto the top. In the bowl, I already have 200 grams of self-raising flour, and to that I'm going to add 200 grams of plain vegan yogurt. So I'll just put that in here. Give that a stir, because we're going to use this to make a dough. So give that a good stir until it starts to come together into a dough, like you can see now. See, it comes together quite quickly. And then we're going to knead that for about 3 to 4 minutes. Once we've kneaded it for 3 to 4 minutes, I'm going to divide it into 4 pieces and then roll them out. So I've put the naan bread on. It only needs 2 to 3 minutes on each side. But with regards to our butter bean curry, I've put the curry powder in earlier, and now I'm just adding the butter beans. I'm going to just give that a quick stir. Smells really lovely. I can smell all of it coming together. It's so tasty. It's going to be amazing. So leave that for a few more minutes, and then we're going to turn the naan bread over. So it will cook for another 2 to 3 minutes on this side. And then after that, we're going to brush it with the garlic butter, and then it will be ready, and I'll sprinkle it with some coriander. So I'm going to brush the naan bread with the garlic butter. So just give it a good, and it's lovely, it looks really glossy. And then on that, we're going to sprinkle a few nigella seeds. And also a little bit of chopped coriander to give it colour as well. And then we also have our butter bean curry that's now ready. So just going to ladle that out. Yeah, and there we have our butter bean curry with garlic bread naan. Today I'm making some items for a mini buffet. I'm making Jamaican patties, plantain cups and ackee filling, and mini cocoa bread, which is very much a Jamaican Caribbean influence. So I'm going to start off with making the patties. In a pan here I have just a little squidge of oil with a small onion that's been chopped, and also a thumb-sized piece of ginger that's been chopped up finely as well. I'm going to put that. To that we're going to add a little bit more onion. A bit more onion to that. And then in addition to that, we're going to add our tomato that has been chopped. So that's just 2 medium-sized tomatoes that we chopped. Some garam masala and some seasoned oil. So just put those here. You're going to cook those down. So keep those cooking until the tomatoes have broken down and are soft. And then after that we will add our vegan mince. So the mince I'm using today is the frozen kind that I've just defrosted. You can use the dried one, but if you have to use the dried one, soak it overnight first and then drain off the liquid and then use it to make the patty fillings, which is what we're making now. Now that I've added everything to the pan, I'll let that cook down, and once that's cooked down and the tomatoes have gone soft, then I'll add the vegan mince to the mixture. So the mince is now cooked. I did pop a Scotch bonnet pepper in there, but closed. If you open it, that's when you get the fire. So now all we need to do now is make the pastry. So we're going to set this aside and make our pastry. To make the pastry, you need 250 grams of plain flour. And then you're going to add, you can add turmeric, but I think it has a nicer flavor if you put in 1 tablespoon of curry powder and a pinch of salt. And we just mix those together, because that's the curry powder is what's going to give it its really nice, lovely yellow signature pastry color. You don't see it now, but you see it later on. Then you're going to have 125 grams of cold butter. And then you're going to put that in there and you're going to rub it in, because you want it to look like fine breadcrumbs. So you basically breaking the butter into pieces and rubbing it into the flour. So it comes up and it looks like lots of lovely breadcrumbs. And you just keep going until the butter is in lots of little pieces like that. Some people freeze the butter and then grate it in. That's one way you can do it. Or you can chop up the butter really finely. But I find it works quite well with this. This is obviously vegan butter. Vegan butter tends to be quite softened, so it lends itself to making this kind of pastry. So once it's like that, and you can see it's like fine breadcrumbs, like that, then you just add 5 to 6 tablespoons of water, and then you make it into a dough. So now the dough is ready. As you can see, all the mixtures come away from the sides of the bowl, and this is now all together and smooth. So then now we're ready to roll it out. All right, once your pastry's ready, roll it out and then cut it out into circles. You can use a lid or something like this, or the actual cutters. Press it down a little bit like this, and then you're going to put some mixture in the middle. Now you don't want to put too much, and make sure you drain the mixture before you put it in, because you don't want to have too much liquid. Just put a little bit in here. Push it into the middle. Then you're going to pinch it all the way around like that. Put it flat on the surface and you get a fork, and then you just press it at the edge like that all the way around. That's where you get those nice little fork marks. So you pop these into a medium oven, 360 degrees centigrade, 180 degrees Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4 for about 25 minutes, or until they're golden brown and slightly crispy. So to make cocoa bread, first of all, you need a cup of coconut milk that's lukewarm, so you can just put it in the microwave for, say, about 40 to 50 seconds. Then you're going to add 1 tablespoon of yeast, or 2 of those little sachets, 1 tablespoon of vegetable suet, a tablespoon of sugar, and then you need to add just a pinch of salt. Stir that together, and then you're going to leave that to one side. Now you might see it looks like it's curdling. That's fine. That shows that the yeast is activating, which is exactly what you want. I'll just give this a quick stir like that. There we go. Leave that to activate. Leave that there. In a bowl here, I've got 3 cups of plain flour, and I'll just add half a teaspoon of salt to that. Just give it a quick stir so that the salt combines throughout all of the flour. Then you're going to make a well in the middle, a little hole there, and then you're going to put your wet mixture into the middle. Into the middle like that, because now we're going to make it into a dough. Just put that away here. You give that a good stir, and the dough is going to be sticky, but don't worry about that. You give it a good stir until it all comes together. There, you can see it there, and it's pulling away from the sides, which is exactly what we need. There you go. So now you can just get in there with your hands and give it a good knead, get it to come together. I love cocoa bread. It's usually eaten traditionally with patties in Jamaica. You usually put them inside the patty inside the cocoa bread, squeeze it and bite it. It's lovely. It's a lovely, whenever I go to Jamaica, that's what I always head straight for the patty shop. So there we go. It comes together like this. And now we're going to put it into a greased bowl and cover it with a warm tea towel and leave it in a warmish place for an hour and a half. So let me just make sure this is nice and smooth. There we go. Put it in our bowl and cover with our damp tea towel and put the timer on for an hour and a half. So once the pastry has risen after an hour and a half, then you roll it out and then you cut it into 4 pieces and roll out those 4 pieces about ½ inch thick, and then you just put butter on one side like that. Let's give it a good, and this is obviously vegan butter. Fold it over like that and then keep going until you've used up all of the mixture. Once you've done that, cover it again and leave it to rise in a warm place for 10 more minutes, and then it's ready to go into the oven. The third thing we're making for our buffet today are plantain cups with ackee filling. I love plantain, it's one of my most favourite foods. So to make it, what you do is boil the plantain, and I have some boiled plantain already here. You take about a third, half to a third, depending on the size of the plantain, and then you press it into a bun tin like this and press it with a teaspoon so it forms a cup shape. So that you do that and you fill up the bun tin, and then you pop that into the oven for about ½ an hour until it goes slightly golden brown around the edges, and then it forms a cup shape, and then you're ready to add your ackee filling. So for the ackee filling, it's really simple to make. All you do is with a medium onion chopped, and then you add, just fry it in a little bit of oil with a medium tomato that's chopped up and some garlic. About a couple of cloves of garlic would be more than fine. And you let those cook down a little bit. Then you add some all-purpose seasoning, black pepper, a little bit of salt if you need it, and then it's more or less ready. Let it cook. You add the ackee and then it cooks, and then it's more or less ready. Then once it's ready, then you spoon it into these cups. And you always make sure you can see all the different colours. So you make sure each one has a little bit of red and a little bit of green showing for a little splash of colour. And that's it, it's ready for you to show on our buffet. Let me just add a little bit of green here and there as well. And that's our plantain cups with ackee filling. So there we have our 3 different items for our mini buffet: plantain cups and ackee filling, our mini Jamaican patties, and our cocoa bread as well, and these are mini ones as well. So this is like a little mini Jamaican Caribbean inspired feast that will be really great for any occasion. Soak the red lentils in water for about 2 hours. Drain the lentils. Place the drained lentils into a food processor and add spring onion, bell peppers, ginger, black pepper, garlic, onion, carrot, tomato puree and salt. Blend until combined, but not too much, otherwise it will be mushy. Heat some oil in a pan. Taking 1/4 cup of mixture at a time, which is 2 ounces or 30 grams, and make those into little patties and then cook on each side for 3 to 4 minutes.
So for this recipe, we're going to get a roasting tin like this and spray it with some oil. Once you've done that, put that aside. Then we're going to get the cauliflower. I've pulled off some of the greenery already. I'm going to take off the rest of it. So I'm going to take that off. So break down the cauliflower into these floret sizes. I'm going to need to do that first so that we can bake it. You can see the cauliflower's got a big chunky stem in the middle, so we're going to cut that so it's easier to break it into florets. Alright, there we go. Let's get rid of that. So now that's broken down into the florets, we're going to just push that to one side. get rid of this. Then we have our peppers, which we're going to wash. Now you can roast them whole, but I prefer not to. So I'm going to chop them in half, take out the seeds in the middle. Well, I just happened to get a pack with the 3 different colours. Right, so that's those done. Let me put those aside. Put these in a bowl at the side. Alright, next we have our sweet potato, and I'm going to peel this. Some people do roast it with the skin on, I prefer not to. So I'm just going to take a potato peeler and give this a peel. Now that's, I'll just move this to one side. And then we're going to cut the sweet potato in half. Right, that's done, so put that aside. And that's everything that needs chopping done. So now we're going to put it all into the roasting tin. So now I have my greased roasting tin. I'm going to put the vegetables in. I've got the sweet potato. I'm going to put all of the cauliflower in one area, because we're going to put some seasoning just on the cauliflower and then salt and pepper on the rest of the vegetables. So there's our peppers. This is going to make a wonderful soup that is great for this autumn time. At the time of making this video, it is autumn. Alright, there we go. And we're going to add our shallots and our head of garlic. And I like to put that in the middle. Alright, there we go. Now, onto the cauliflower we're going to put the curry powder. Just sprinkle it on. I've got 2 tablespoons of Jamaican curry powder here. You don't have to use Jamaican curry powder, you can use whichever curry powder you can get hold of, that's fine. And then we're going to add also the paprika and the cumin. So there's the cumin and the paprika, and then we're going to sprinkle salt and pepper and some seasonings, some herbs over the rest of the vegetables. So this is the salt, and this is the black pepper. This is some cracked black pepper that I cracked into this little bowl. And then I've got some sage and oregano. Oregano, or if you're from the States, oregano. No, Americans say oregano and British we say oregano. There you go. So that's it, all the vegetables are now ready. So I'm going to pop those into the oven now for 30 to 35 minutes until the sweet potato and the cauliflower are soft.
So they have now roasted and are ready now for cooling. So I've removed them now from the oven and I'm going to allow them to cool down before I blend them. For the ingredients, you're going to need 3 cups or 450 grams of red kidney beans, 3 to 4 sprigs of thyme, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, half a teaspoon of pimento crushed, 1 Scotch bonnet pepper, 1 cup of flour, and it can be spelt or plain flour, 1 to 2 tablespoons of Jamaican seasoned oil, and 100 grams of coconut cream, or some people call it creamed coconut. Place the red kidney beans in a bowl. Wash them thoroughly and then drain. Add enough water to cover the kidney beans, and the water level should be about 2 or 3 inches above, and soak overnight or for 2 to 3 hours. After it's soaked for about 2 hours or overnight, then transfer to a pot. Add a few sprigs of thyme and a couple of cloves of garlic and allow to boil. Bring to the boil and then simmer until red kidney beans are soft on the inside. So the inside should look like mashed potatoes. So once it's boiled, I'll show you what it should look like. So now they're cooked, and how you test them to see if that they're cooked is you take one out and you press it down, and if it's soft when you press it like that, so it's almost like mashed potato inside, then it's ready. So what we're going to do now is take out half of the kidney beans in here, put it in a bowl, crush it, and then put it back in, and that will thicken the whole thing. Alright, so that's just about half. So now I'm going to crush all of these. So you can use a potato masher or just a fork like I'm using here. You just crush all of them like this. Just make sure you crush everything. When it's done, it will look like this, and we're going to just put this now back into the pot. So now we're going to stir it, gently stir it. So that the mixture you've just put in is incorporated into the whole of what's in the pot. So next we're going to add our seasonings. So for the seasonings, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of everyday seasoning. It's sometimes called all-purpose seasoning or seasonal, but it's the Caribbean one that you want. So you put that in and stir. Next we're going to add half a teaspoon of pimento. So what I'm going to do is put that in a pestle and mortar and crush them. Then we're going to add 100 grams of creamed coconut. I call it coconut cream. This is a 200 gram block, so I'm just going to add half of this. So you add that and leave that to cook now for about 15 to 20 minutes, and by then it should have thickened. So this is what it looks like after 20 or so minutes. So now I'm going to add the dumplings, which I'm just going to make with a bit of spelt flour and water. So I've got some spelt flour and water here, which I'm just going to stir it and then make it into a dough. And then I'll show you how you make these little dumplings, which in Jamaica we call spinners. Alright, that needs a little bit more water. As you can see now, it's forming into a dough. This is just spelt flour. You can use regular plain flour as well if you want to, but to make it a bit healthier, I'm using spelt flour, and you can add salt to it as well. I've just decided not to, because I'm trying not to have too much salt. And then you just knead it into a dough. And then you're just going to pull off pieces of the dough, roll it between your hands like that, and that is a spinner. Drop it into the mixture and do it again. Pull off a piece of the dough, roll it between your hands like that, drop it into the dough, and you just keep doing that until you've used up all of the mixture. So I've just got this much, so I'm just going to keep going until I've done all of them. And then this is ready once the dumplings have cooked. But I'm going to put one more thing. I'm going to add a Scotch bonnet pepper. Now Scotch bonnet will blow your socks off if you open it, but if you don't open it, you get a nice flavor. Now where sometimes people get confused is if the Scotch bonnet pepper is slightly cracked or slightly open, then you will get some pepperiness or some heat. But if it's not, you'll just get some flavor. Right, here we go. I've used up more or less all of it now. I think just 2 more and we're done. Alright, that's it. Just stir that a bit. And then now I'm going to add the Scotch bonnet pepper. I just washed it first and then I just add it like that. Then we're going to cover it and then leave that for about 10 minutes and then it's ready. Add all of the ingredients to a casserole dish. I have a dish here, so I'm going to add some spray oil to it just to double check that nothing sticks. I'm going to add the veg first of all. So I've got sweet corn, green peas and cabbage. Put it in there. Spread that out. I'm going to add the broth, but before we add the broth we need to take some out because we need some of that to add to the corn flour. So we take out 5 tablespoons of the broth and put it in a separate bowl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've taken out 5 tablespoons, set that aside. The rest I pour into here. And to pour in the whole can of coconut milk. For this you can use any white bean that you want. I didn't have any white beans, so I'm going to use chickpeas instead because I have a can of chickpeas. Basically use up whichever ones you want, or whichever beans you have to hand. Right, so add the chickpeas. I'm going to add some salt. So I'm using Himalayan salt today, so you don't need too much because it's very salty. Some black pepper. Yeast flakes. And some turmeric as well. We just need 1 teaspoon of turmeric. And some sage. So for sage we need a teaspoon of sage as well. So give it. And then garlic, onion powder or onion granules, either one works fine. And the same with garlic granules. The thing I can't stand about garlic granules is that it clumps together. So what I usually do is pull it out like this and just tear bits off until I think I've got about a teaspoon, which is what we need. It's actually half a teaspoon of garlic powder. That's plenty. This is actually the garlic granules, but both work fine. And then for thyme, you can use thyme or mixed herbs. Generous helping of that. We need 1 tablespoon. So you kind of have to eyeball it. Then, which I didn't put in the ingredients, is this Jamaican all-purpose seasoning, or sometimes called seasonal. I'm going to put 1.5 teaspoons of that. Right, we need to stir this around. It smells wonderful. Tasty. This is going to be super delicious. And this is so quick and easy to make, and it's really cheap. Also, if you've got vegetables that you want to use up, this is perfect. Alright, so mix those around. So now we're going to mix together the cornstarch and the... So mix together the cornstarch with the 5 tablespoons of veggie broth. If it's a bit dry like that, then just add some water. So I've just added some water. You just want enough to kind of make it into a paste. There we go, it's starting to form into a nice paste. There we go. So once it becomes easy to mix, you know that it's basically incorporated. Pour that in. Give that a good stir. And now we're going to put the pastry on top. So you can make the puff pastry yourself, or you can just buy it, whichever is your preference. So you place the pastry on top. And press it down a little bit. Then we're going to cut some diagonal holes in it with a knife. So we're now going to cut a slice. And there we have our vegetable pot pie. Delicious. For this recipe, you're going to need 1 block of tofu. So I have a block of tofu here. And soy sauce. It's got dark soy sauce here. Black pepper. Corn flour. And that's what you're going to need for the tofu. Then for the sauce, we're going to need the soy sauce and maple syrup, some ginger grated, garlic roughly chopped, some tablespoons of apple juice, 2 tablespoons of apple juice, and then a corn flour and water slurry. Okay, so that's all the ingredients that we need. So let's go now to the first stage. So we're going to mix all the sauce ingredients into a jar. Alright, so this is plastic, but it's BPA free and recyclable. So into the jar we're going to put 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. I guess you could use agave as well for this. So 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2, and then 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, which I have here. And then 4 cloves of garlic, roughly chopped. That's that there. And then 2 tablespoons of apple juice. Just an apple juice here, yeah. So 1, 2. That was slightly more, but it's okay. And then 1 tablespoon of corn flour mixed with 2 tablespoons of water. So let me just make that up. So we're going to mix in here. So we need 1 tablespoon of the corn flour. That's that done. And now we need 2 tablespoons. Now we need 2 tablespoons of water. So for this, you're just going to take a little teaspoon and mix this until, because when you start to mix it, it feels stiff. But then you can see it's easy to mix. So once you feel all of the flour's been incorporated, like it's easy to mix now, that's it, it's done. I'm going to pop that into our mixture. Alright, so we're going to give that a quick stir. I'm going to cover that and set that aside. Alright. Now next we have our tofu. And we're going to place the tofu into a bowl with soy sauce and pepper and then allow it to sit for 10 minutes. So first of all, I'm going to open this and press out the water. So I'll be back in a short while. So there's the tofu. So we're going to cut the tofu into some medium-sized chunks first of all. So those are around about medium size-ish. Yeah. Can go again, make them a bit smaller so they're much more bite size. So for this I'm using firm tofu. Right. That's that all cut up. There you go, that's done. So we're going to put that into a bowl. This is a really quick and easy recipe and it's very cheap to make as well. There. That's it, that's done. Then we're going to add our black pepper. And then we're going to add our soy sauce. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So 1, 2, and now we're going to give it a stir. So just make sure all the pieces of tofu are coated. Like that, give it a good stir. Alright, and now we're going to leave that to marinate for 10 minutes. So we're going to put some corn flour into a bowl, and then we're going to coat each of the tofu pieces one by one, and then we're going to fry them in a hot pan. Now I'm not going to deep fry them, I'll just show you here. I've got a hot pan and I've just got some spray oil because I don't want to make it too oily. So just put some spray oil. And then as I've coated each piece here, I'll put them in the pan. So I'll move you here so you can see. You're going to cook on each side until it's brown on all sides. So once it reaches this stage where you can see the corn flour has been cooked out, the pieces are all quite crispy, you remove them from the pan. Then you now pour the sauce into the pan. And allow it to thicken for a few seconds, about 30 seconds. Right, you can see it's starting to thicken now, so turn the heat off. Put the tofu back into the pan and coat the tofu. I'm going to taste it. It's sticky, salty and sweet at the same time. So one last thing I'm going to add is a little bit of some people call it, I call it scallion, some people call it green onions. So just chop a little bit of this into it just to finish it off. And you can serve this with rice or a salad. Now I have a salad here that I've just made. It's just got some cabbage, lettuce, carrot and some pomegranates. And then I'm going to just place the tofu on top to finish the dish. Today I'm going to make for you a nourish bowl. Now nourish bowl comes under different names, Buddha bowl, grain bowl. They're quite similar. They all have whole grains, vegetables, proteins, seasoning sauces and a little extra something, some kind of sauce. So today I'm going to make a nourish bowl using these ingredients. So first of all, I've got some lettuce leaves. So these are the long little gem lettuce leaves, and I've also got some spinach leaves as well. So I'm going to alternate between the lettuce and the spinach leaves so you get that variation in the shades of green as you go around. So just do that here. So just tuck them in so they just go over the edge of the bowl like that. Just keep going until you're all the way around the bowl, just like that. And then another spinach and another lettuce till it's like that. Now when you put the lettuce in, it tends to kind of go down in a slope, so to make sure everything is kind of flat, put some more spinach leaves or lettuce leaves, whichever you have, into the middle just like this. Do this. Alright, now we're ready to put in the rest of the ingredients. So I've got some sweet baby peppers here, so I'm just going to place those here, one red and one orange. Then I've got some cherry tomatoes, which I'm just going to put over here. I love cherry tomatoes. I don't really like tomatoes, you know, the regular sized tomatoes, people just pick them up and eat them. I don't like that. But cherry tomatoes, I will do that, which doesn't make any sense really, but that's just the way I like them. Put those in. Then we're going to put in some purple coleslaw, which is basically coleslaw made using purple cabbage. So put that there, because we eat with our eyes as well as our mouths, so the colours always look very appetizing when you have all the different colours. And the saying goes, eat a rainbow, so why not? And I've got here some steamed buckwheat, so that's a really good healthy option to add in as well. And if you're new to eating buckwheat, you just can add a little bit, you don't have to add loads. I'll put that here. And we've got some cooked chickpeas as well, which we're going to add in the middle, like that. And if you don't have chickpeas, you can always add another pea instead. So just tuck this down a little bit. You can always tweak it as you go along. And then our final ingredient to keep it Caribbean is I've got some slices of green banana that I've boiled and sprinkled with some smoked paprika. I just place over here, just like that. There you go. Just arrange our cherry tomatoes so we can see everything. And that's it. That's our grain bowl. So this is a really good way to encourage children to eat more vegetables, encourage yourselves as adults to eat more vegetables, and it's also really good for using up leftovers as well. So you would add a sauce of your choice to this. You can either have it on the side or just drizzle it over the top. And then the final thing I'm going to add is some toasted sesame seeds. Just a quick couple of pinches over the top like that. And this is healthy, easy to make, and really tasty too. And that's our nourish bowl. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed all of the recipes. So if you want a copy of the PDF, just click the link in the description box below. And when this video goes live, I will also put it in a pinned comment as well, so it's quite easy for you to find the link. I would also like to ask you to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll see more videos just like this one. And if you have any recipes, budget recipes that you would like me to
make a video on in the future. So if you have a particular ingredient you'd like a budget recipe for, comment it in the comment section below. If you really enjoyed this video and you want to share it wherever you are on social media, please feel free to share it as well. Eat good, eat clean, eat blessed. Thank you so much for watching. Love you all. See you next time. Bye.